Hello everyone, and welcome back to day 3 of Inktober and day 3 of the magical mushroom. The thick smoke was now a gentle mist, twirling from the cauldron, its long fingers dancing across Mabel's face, slowly disappearing into nothing. Sat plump and comfortable on the table was the mushroom, staring contently at Mabel. Mabel, on the other side of the room, was staring back in disbelief. Suddenly, she snaps back into reality and leaps for her big book of spells, turning the pages rapidly while mumbling to herself. "How could this have happened? I'm not ready for life-giving spells! How could this be? I followed the recipe to the letter!" Pages spinning out of control, quicker and quicker, until a sudden stop with her finger. "Here!" Mabel begins to intensely read her book. Moments pass when she suddenly comes to the realization. She read the wrong spell. She had no idea how this happened. Maybe a page turned in the wind. Maybe something else turned it. Possibilities were racing through her mind. She turned her head and saw that the mushroom had moved forward to the edge of the table. Watching closely, the mushroom began to twitch and contort at its sides. Then, the two tiny stumps grew a few centimeters more in an instant. He began to wiggle them back and forth at the very tips. Are you wavering?" Mabel asked, confused and wary. The mushroom stopped and held his stance momentarily, then slowly began to raise one of his arm stumps, reaching towards Mabel. There he waited and held out reach to her. Taken aback, Mabel thinks, but only for a moment, then slowly and cautiously approaches the mushroom. She gives him a close inspection and then finally a glimpse of a smile. She breathes a sigh of relief, and with one finger, she reaches to touch his hand.
Let's go!
So I hope you enjoyed day 3 of the magical mushroom. Got to say, I had such a hard time sketching this one. The face and the hand was so difficult. And looking back now, I'm still not 100% happy with it. But obviously, due to time constraints of Inktober, ain't nobody got time to be working on drawings for hours and hours and hours a day, especially if you have work. So for now, this will have to do, unfortunately. But the great thing with art is you can always retry and update and resketch and just get better. And at least now I know that I need way more practice drawing hands and faces, especially in weird angles which look amazing in your head and absolutely terrible when you try and transfer them onto paper. That's what it's like in my case anyway. What I found helped in the end was Pinterest references. I even tried photographing myself in that angle to see how the hand would form naturally, and both methods helped a bit, I think. I don't know, I think seeing someone else's drawings of how they illustrated something helped me out more personally, as when I look at photos of real people, I get overwhelmed by lines and colours, tones, shapes and shadows and everything. It all just kind of clusters for me. So, which helps me more is looking at cartoons and other illustrations, as I think because they're simpler to look at, they're easier to break down into shapes in my head and draw, if that makes sense. I know I'm rambling, but I know what I'm talking about. But I definitely think you should test it out and see what works better for you, and let me know your thoughts on references in the comments below. Do you work better with photos or with other people's illustrations? Well, anyway, I'm absolutely knackered from work, and that's all I've got for today, really. So leave me feedback in the comments, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for more tales of the magical mushroom. Bye!